Every ancient culture believed the sky wasn't just a map. It was a message. And in December 2025, Mars, Saturn, and Neptune form an alignment so rare that ancient astronomer priests would have called it a war in the heavens. Today, we're breaking down what that sky battle meant in Greek, Egyptian, and Vedic myth and what those stories say about the tense, confused energy people are feeling right now. If you want myth, astrology, and history without the fluff, hit subscribe so YouTube actually shows you our weekly deep dives. Section 1. The cosmic conflict begins. Let's start with the main event, Mars square Saturn. In mythology, this is Ares versus Cronus. War versus time. Impulse versus restriction. Whenever these two fight, ancient astrologers didn't predict doom, they predicted tension that forces choice. Ares demands action. Cronus demands discipline. Put them at a 90-degree angle in the sky, and you don't get harmony. You get friction that pushes cultures, leaders, and individuals into decisive moments. The ancients describe this as a cosmic furnace, pressure that forges or breaks. That's the narrative backbone of this alignment. Xandois. Then Neptune enters, and the gods stop fighting fair. If Mars and Saturn are the fighters, Neptune is the fog. In Greek myth, Poseidon ruled not just the sea, but illusion, dreams, delusion, and divine confusion. When he entered a war, he never fought directly. He altered the battlefield itself. That is exactly the energy ancient sky priests would have seen in this alignment. Mars says charge forward. Saturn says prove you're ready. Neptune says, but what if everything you believe about the situation is distorted? It creates a mythic storm where the hero cannot trust the landscape. This wasn't a gentle symbolism. It was a warning. Act, but verify. Move, but question. Fight, but see clearly. Section 3. Why December was always cosmically loaded. Winter skies in ancient cultures were a sacred canvas. In Egypt, the Milky Way was the celestial Nile, the river the gods used to cross between worlds. In Vedic cosmology, it was the path of the ancestors, illuminated most clearly in winter, when the veil was thin. December alignments were considered moments when divine messages were easier to misinterpret. Cosmic battles mirrored social uncertainty. Truth and illusion overlapped. You weren't supposed to panic. You were supposed to pay attention. Section 4. What the ancients would have told us to do. Mythology didn't predict events. It predicted patterns. Here's how ancient interpreters would have framed this alignment. 1. If Mars is loud, slow down. Ares wants you to rush. Saturn punishes rushing. The lesson? Strength isn't speed. It's clarity. If Saturn blocks you, don't force it. Cronus blocks only where you are unprepared. Where you are prepared, he opens doors. 3. If Neptune confuses you, zoom out. Poseidon's illusions dissolve when you look at the whole picture, not the moment-to-moment swirl. The ancients weren't predicting a bad season. They were describing a trial that shapes identity. Section 5. The modern translation. You don't need to believe in astrology to understand mythic language. Every culture built stories to explain what friction, doubt, and momentum feel like inside a civilization. Mars squares Saturn explains the tension. Neptune explains the uncertainty. The winter sky explains the introspection. Mythology gives you a lens, not a prediction. It doesn't tell you what will happen. It tells you how to interpret pressure so it becomes growth instead of chaos. Closing. The ancients didn't stare at the sky to escape reality. They stared at it to understand it. If you want more mythic explanations of the modern world, hit like so YouTube knows to show you more of these deep dives. And tell me in the comments which mythological lens you want next, Norse, Vedic, or Egyptian. Your comment genuinely helps this content survive the recommendation system.